Welcome back to my channel, CEOs. If you're ready to scale your business this year past where you could have ever imagined, then this video is for you. Sydney, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. Can you tell everybody just a little bit about who you are and what you do in the industry?
Yeah, so I'm Sydney Garvey and I run Garvey's Gardens. And I started as a flower farmer back in 2020, and then we expanded to a retail brick and mortar florist shop, and we do weddings and we flower all of life's occasions, and we are out in the western slope of Colorado. So at the beginning of 2023, I was in the middle of opening the brick and mortar shop, hiring my staff for that, really had no idea what it would take to run the brick and mortar. And so I just knew that I really wanted, the weddings are what I love besides growing the flowers. So bringing the weddings up more and having somebody who focuses on that was a really big piece for me. Plus there's I didn't want like a brick and mortar coach or a florist coach because I do things so differently as a flower farmer. I knew the flower side. It was the business side, the wedding business side specifically, that I wanted more help with. So it was just one of those things like, yep, okay, let's make 2023 a really, really great year for weddings. And we did. We tripled the number of weddings between 2022 and 2023. And then this year we're looking at tripling again.
That is incredible. You said that you tripled, obviously, and you're going to triple again. This time, what's different about how you're going to triple your business, do you feel like?
The biggest thing is that I have a team, and then we each kind of have our specialty as well. One of them handles our consults, and then me and another one swoop in when we need to. But the fact that we have a team now and I don't have to do all the consults and I don't have to do all the weddings, and we can do multiple weddings in a day.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned to me when we first started working together was that you were like, I do all of the weddings, right? Like I have a team, I have people that help. And I think what's been really fun is just today, you were like, so I had a consult for a massive wedding and my sales manager had another consult at the same time. And I was like, yes, this is what we built, right? Like this is it, because for you, it wasn't about the fact that you didn't have team members yet. It was more about the fact that your team wasn't strategically built to be able to take on the influx of business that you could book, right? And now you don't have to be in the middle of all of it. You know, they can handle things without your intervention, which helps a ton, I'm sure.
And giving them that power too is just awesome to see them rise to that occasion and take it on. And they're like, no, I want to do more. And it's like, okay, awesome. Like, let's go get them.
Especially, you know, for anybody that's listening, if you have multiple streams of revenue, like Sydney does, right? It's like you've got the farm, you've got the shop, you've got weddings. Having your brain spread between the three is so difficult. But being able to manage and pour into the three people who are really going to service those areas is so much easier. One of the other things that I found really, really interesting, I'd love for you to touch on this, is that you said, I don't want a florist coach. Like, I already know how to do that. And I think one of the biggest misconceptions with the accelerator is that people say, oh, is it just for planners? I feel like it's just for planners. But we have all kinds of wedding pros inside the accelerator because it is really a business course. The business behind your business is the same no matter what kind of a pro you are. So can you touch on that a little bit? Like, what was it that made you know you didn't necessarily need a floral coach? Was there a piece of content or something that I said that helped you say, yeah, like this is gonna be the place I go?
Like, I have the creative floral side down, and even as flower farmers in general, we always are like, yeah, growing the flowers is the easy part. Like for us, that part is the easy part. It's then selling them that's the hard part. And so same thing as a florist, ordering them in, like your business flows as a florist and creating the arrangements. That's our bread and butter, but that's what we love to do. And so a lot of the time it's creating the back end systems that really hold us back. And so having it be a really easy lead funnel for people to reach out to, how to have all those streams a funnel, really, is what I'm describing. So how to make a funnel, and
how to streamline all of it, right?
That.
If you're a wedding florist, a photographer, a DJ, a venue, a planner, or any other type of wedding pro, and you are loving what you're hearing in this episode, I would encourage you to drop down into the description below and check out the Wedding Pro CEO Accelerator. I'm ready to help you double or even triple your revenue this year.
I was looking back in the course because now I just go back and cherry pick what I need when I need it.
To be able to keep going back to the program and grabbing things out of it, like you said, as you go and as you're growing, because when you come in, you're at one place and then it's like, okay, I've grown so much, so let's see what else that you can get out of the program. Do you feel like you set a goal when you started the program? Because I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you joined like the same day your shop opened, or very, very close to the same time.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the best choice of mine. Like, I should have just joined earlier. I set just a goal of like going through everything. I really wanted to do the CEO Monday meetings and like be on the calls more, but that just didn't happen because of me opening the shop. So my goal was that, okay, this week we're going to go through the mindset module. This week we're going to go through the marketing module. And so I would be listening. So like my CEO morning, listening to the modules and stuff, and then I would be able to go back and like do what you had talked about.
I often hear people say, I'm in busy season and I just don't know how to fit it in right now. And I'm with you. I mean, I always have a business coach 100% of the time. I always have a business coach. I feel like there's never really a great time, to join. No. But if you know that it's important to you and you're going to make that investment back, you find time to do it. I love encouraging our students to say, just listen to the modules like a podcast, make notes in your phone or whatever, and say, I need to go back to this one, and then go back and do that thing. So I think that that's really, really helpful advice for anybody that's listening to be able to implement.
And because all the calls are recorded too, like once I finished the modules listening to it, then I would listen to the calls, and it was just very helpful. It
is great to hear from you that you weren't able to make a lot of the calls and still got so much value out of it. So one of the things I'd love to ask you is, I know you said that you guys were looking at tripling your wedding business this year. What else is going to be different about your business this year? Like, what kind of projections are you looking to make? If there's numbers you're willing to share, we'd love to hear them, but you don't have to. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, the shop was weird. Like the brick and mortar florist side was weird because didn't really know where that was going to end up. So now we actually have numbers to base it off of. But tripling like number of weddings this coming year because of having the staff. Budget wise, really that's the biggest thing, was that we actually have a spending plan going into this year. And so that's huge now that we have enough years of business under our belt, and having the spending plan, which is from the template that you have in the accelerator, and having that all planned out.
And I think what's so fun about working with you is that it's like, last year was a huge year of spending for you, right? And anybody that knows, anytime you make a big business venture, you're going to have a tremendous outlay of cash. And there's so much unknown that you just don't know what you're gonna have expenses coming up. So one of the things I love for this year that we're really, really focused on for you is profit. Like, let's stick to the spending plan. So I'm excited for what you're gonna do in your business this year.
And you asked earlier, now that you said that, there was one episode in the podcast where you were talking about operating in the red, and that was just like really comforting to be like, okay, I'm not the only one that's doing this for right now. Like, you see a way out. It's not like you're gonna close or anything, but like you're doing it because you did this big investment somewhere and you know you're gonna make it up, but like how?
I do like to share on the podcast that it's not all roses and sunshine, and some years you're in the red purposefully, right? Like, you're going to be, because you're going to make a huge investment, and then you've got to really work hard to make that investment back. So Sydney, if there was somebody that's listening, this episode will air right around the same time you joined last year. So if there's somebody that's listening that is like, okay, will this work for me? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say if you're a florist of any sorts of wedding floral designer, I'll do it from that angle.
Yeah,
if you're a flower farmer or a florist, flowering weddings, and you feel like, you have the flower side down, but your business end could use some TLC, like, you can't go wrong.
Sydney, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Hey CEO, if this video was helpful, make sure to check out the linked videos in the description below to help you build a profitable wedding business that you've always dreamed of.